Listen, okay? Listen to me for a second. I think Gran Turismo is a fine game. I think it's a fine game. I know there are people that love playing the game. Can we stop putting these cars, these old ass cars in the game? Can we just stop? No one likes using these cars. Who likes using these cars? I mean, you know what? I'm sure there's somebody out there that likes using these cars. I don't like using these cars. But you know what you're forced to do? You're forced to use the hatchbacks. You're forced to use the old cars in the game in the beginning. Now, yeah, you should have to build your way up to the good cars, to the high end, to the Lamborghinis, to all that stuff. But I don't want to use these old cars. Let me show you the car that I just got finished. I just got finished racing with this 1965 Mini Cooper. Why do I have to race this car? Why do I have to? I had to race, granted, I only had to race one race with it, but I had to race like 3 or 4 times because it was so hard for me to get third place with this car because it's so bad. I had to pump like probably over $10,000, $15,000 into this car just to make it good enough to get me to third place so that I can get one of the prize cars for the mission and then use the prize cars to do the rest of it. The prize car was the Polo GTI. It was the one that I was racing to get as a prize car. And this is the car that I used to get the other 2 prize cars for the mission that I had to do. And I don't like driving this one either. It looks nice on the inside. I would, like, if someone gave me this car in real life, I'd be like, dang, this car is nice. I like it. I like the inside. I like the, the interior. It looks nice. It's clean. I don't want to race this car in a video game. I don't want to do it, but I have to. If I want to get to the high-end cars, or I want to get at least to the cars that I like, this is one of my favorite cars, period. Like in real life, right? And so I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna get this car. I'm gonna get this Nissan 370Z because that's what it is. Apparently, it's the Fairlady Z in Japan, but I think this is the 370Z. The 350Z was my favorite car until the 370Z came out, and that was like a car that I've always wanted to have. But I can't use this car for anything. I bought it, but I can't use it for anything right now because I had to do the hatchback races. It did not fit the requirements of a car that you were allowed to race in the races that I had to do. So if you go to World Circuits, it was in Europe, and I had to do 1, 2, and 3. So like these 3 races. So this race requires a road car from the country of the United Kingdom, Germany, France, Italy, or Australia. The 370Z is a Japanese car, so I can't use it in this race, which I guess, sure, race regulations, whatever. Why do I want to race a 1965 Mini Cooper? I'm sure there are some people out there that probably do want to race a 1965 Mini Cooper S, but I'm not one of them. I don't want to do that, but I have to in order to get to the cars that I want to race. Why not have different races in the beginning? Why not have a bunch of different tracks with different requirements so the people who do want to race a 1965 Mini Cooper S can do that, and the people that want to race, a older Lamborghini Countach or whatever can do that until you get to use the era of cars as the gate instead of the type of car. Because if you use an era of cars, there are a lot of different cars that were out during the same era, and then you could be like, okay, well, I want to go this path. I want to go the path of racing 1965 Mini Cooper S's, or I want to go the path of racing some other type of car that you like the look of or the feel of better during that era, because everybody didn't have hatchbacks. Everybody in the world didn't have hatchbacks. There were other cars. There were muscle cars. Like, I would rather race a muscle car than a hatchback at the beginning of the game. An old muscle car, I would rather race. Like, I don't even really necessarily like the aesthetic of muscle cars and stuff like that, but I'd rather race a muscle car at the beginning of the game than race a hatchback or a 1965 Mini Cooper S. I don't know what the other games were about because I wasn't like a Gran Turismo player, but I'm telling you right now, the beginning of this game is painstakingly boring because I don't like any of the cars. So I have to force myself to race these slow, boring cars to get to the cars that I want to race. It's kind of whack. Like I say.